This is a Columbia BK graphophone. The Columbia BK came out in 1906. Originally, I believe it had a nickel bed plate. So this is a little bit later when they went with a black painted bed plate, which was probably a little less expensive to build and allowed them to drop the price or make a little bit more profit. It's with an original aluminum horn. These are kind of hard to find. So this would have been just after when they came out. It has exposed gears, meaning everything's not encased in part of the mechanism up here, which means it's a little bit louder than the ones that have encased gears that are a bit more expensive. In 1908, the next version of this had the lyric reproducer like this encased. It was actually painted black, so it was no longer nickel plated. Another cost-cutting measure. At some point, they put a back bracket on this machine to have a horn supported by the back bracket, and that was called a BKT. The T stands for tone arm because the back bracket model had a horizontal tone arm or tapered tone arm. In 1909, they modified this by adding a new reproducer and making it capable of playing 2 and 4 minute cylinders. In 1909, Columbia stopped producing cylinders and got their cylinders made by a company that was making them out of celluloid with a cardboard inside. And that way they didn't have to manufacture or record anymore. And they were focusing more on their disc market. That company marketed them as Columbia cylinders, and they were 2 and 4 minute, so they adapted their machines to play both 2 and 4 minute cylinders. And then within a couple of years, Columbia completely got out of the cylinder business. So let's come in and take a look at it. Okay, let's take a look. We'll start with the best part, the decal. Very nice. And then there's my reproducer. A little bit different than the floating reproducers that are on the earlier machines. And then this is strictly a 2 minute machine. If it was a 2 and 4, it would have a slightly different gear here. There'd be other changes in the gears, and then there'd be a little lever here to switch from 2 to 4. And this one's got this unusual decal on the bed plate. That's kind of neat. There's the on-off and the speed control. On the back, you can see the decal there. It's in great condition. It's a bit of a plain cased machine. Not my favorite graphophone, that's for sure. Okay, what are we going to play on this? Well, I've got some pink Lamberts here. These are quite rare. I love the color. They also came in black, and there were several other colors, but those other colors are really hard to find. This one, you can see inside there, there's these little wedges to help slip it on the mandrel and also support this part, this top part, which was added after the cylinder was made. Later, they made the cylinders out of one piece. These are kind of neat. Quite rare. Okay, so let's pick one here. Got one here I'm going to put on. Okay, let's give it a try. Being celluloid, these cylinders are usually really good and loud.
Played by Professor McCann, Edison's Bell Indestructible Record.
I'm sure you noticed that the records seem to be warbling a little bit. That's because of the machine. It needs some oil, and I think the governor's a little loose, so it was not rotating properly. But other than that, the cylinder was loud and clear. These are really great cylinders, and it's quite a nice little machine. Once I get it fixed up, it'll be beautiful.